Hello and welcome, my name is Thomas, and in this video we're going to be talking about a concept known as the idea bucket.
When the wind blows and the windows are closing, you let the world know what has been has been. There's no use in looking back, going back, wishing back.
Okay, so since it's a sunny day outside and because I'm not going to be doing the typical kind of screen overlay that I do in a lot of my videos, I figured I'd just go ahead and do an outside today. What I wanted to talk to you about was something that I've been referring to over the last several years as the idea bucket. So one of the things that I like to do in my videos is just kind of share some of the tips or some of the ideas or concepts that I've personally used that have been helpful, if in any way they can help you as you are creating your own workflow, creating your own content, building a business, or just doing anything as a creator. So one of the biggest challenges that creators have today, I can speak from personal experience and from many people from whom I have heard, is coming up with new ideas. It comes to that point where we all know how important regularity is, particularly with my videos I've learned that, and I'm sure you've learned it as well, that it's important that you pick a schedule or a regularity in which you are creating your content and then you stick to it as best as possible. What I typically recommend for people is that you stick to 1 week. 1 week is kind of that sweet spot to where you're front of mind for most people, and at the same time it's not something that takes too much out of you to create, as opposed to maybe some vloggers in the past who have committed to a daily schedule, and then you've got others who maybe do it once a month. Once a month can work, but it's enough time for somebody to lose interest or get busy, or it's not enough of a regularity in their schedule to train them or to get them into the habit of watching your content. But of course, if you're going to stick to some sort of schedule, be it bi-weekly or weekly or even monthly, you have to have a list of ideas from which you are continually pulling to ensure that you don't run out of ideas for the content that you're creating. So what most people do, and what I myself have done, is you sit down at that blank canvas, whether like me you're creating videos, or maybe you record podcast episodes, or maybe you have a blog. Whatever the type of media in which you create your content, the issue is still the same. You're staring at that blank canvas trying to create something. And so again, what I can tell you from personal experience is that that is the absolute worst time that you could possibly attempt to create something. Because when you do finally come up with that idea, it's going to be forced. All the things that go along with it aren't going to be fresh in your mind. It's just going to be a struggle to waste all of that time coming up with that piece of content and then powering through to try and get that piece of content completed. So that brings us to the concept of the idea bucket. And the idea bucket is quite simple. It's simply a list of ideas that you keep with you and you keep building on a continual basis. So personally, I use an app that is for iOS as well as for Mac called Things. It's a simple to-do manager, and I've just got a list inside, or a project inside of Things, that I use to keep a running list of all of the ideas I have for content. But here's the key. I'm adding to it throughout every single day. So if I am going and I'm doing my daily video work, or if I'm building out a website, it is quite common for me to come across something that I personally do all the time that I don't even think about as something that could be useful for you as I am doing it. And so what I do as I've gone through one of those processes, that I think to myself, hey, that might actually make a good video. And so what I do is I go into Things and I just add a line item, add a to-do, and then I just add a few bullet points of specifically what it is that I'm going to talk about. And so I just have made that habit so that every single time I'm working on something, or when I'm building something, or whatever it is throughout my day, if it's something that I think would be relevant and useful to you, I add it to that list. And so I even have their smartphone app as well, so even if I'm out on a drive or out and about, obviously I don't do it while I'm driving, but you get the idea. It's one of those things where it becomes part of your daily workflow that you're just adding ideas to that bucket. So once the time comes, once I sit down at my computer, for example, This very video that I'm making for you right now is on this list as a line item. As I was using my idea bucket, I thought, hey, why not make a video about the idea bucket and share that with everyone? So like today, it has come, I've got it blocked out that I need to create a video for you, right? So what did I do? The first thing I did is I went to my idea bucket list, found something that looked nice to shoot, and then I'm making the video. I spend zero time trying to figure out what it is that I'm going to actually shoot. I just look at the list, pick one, and I record it. Particularly if you're a content creator, something like this is going to do two big things for you. One, it's going to alleviate all the stress and anxiety of having to come up with an idea when it comes time to stick to a schedule that you want to publish content. But also, number two is it's going to help you create better content. Because like I said, I don't just throw an idea into the list. What I also do is I take a couple of extra minutes just to write out some bullet points of specifically what it is that I would like to talk about. Because what I've done in the past, as I've kind of been developing this idea bucket concept, is that I think of an idea and I add it to the list, right? But then when it comes time to work on it, I have no idea what I was talking about. So what I do now is I add those bullet points. Those bullet points are going to make it simpler, again, not only to remember specifically what it is that I wanted to cover in the video, but it's also going to take those extra steps so that once I sit down to record it, I have exactly what I need in front of me so I know which particular pieces to cover as I go through the video. So again, this is going to change for every person and for every type of content that you're creating. Perhaps you do videos like me, but you like to work off of a teleprompter. I've done teleprompter videos in the past, and so you got to go through the process of writing that script. Some people just like to wing it. I don't typically recommend that. I recommend that you at least have specific talking points that you want to go through to ensure that you stay on topic and that you're not going off into rabbit trails, but whatever works best for you. So that's it. I just wanted to share that really quick tip with you today to kind of recap for you. Just find things or a different app that works best for you, or even just pen and paper, and just make it a daily part of your workflow or of your habit to go through and add line items, add ideas to this list, so that once you sit down and you schedule out your time to create your content, you are never wanting for ideas. So as always, if you found this video useful, hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.